Okay, and the last one, we remember we used our operating system and told it that we're going to use 4 as an imaginary file descriptor, totally arbitrary, really not imaginary, but we're kind of creating it. Okay, and we're going to use this file descriptor to talk through our dev TCP device, and our dev TCP device address we want to talk to is irc.freenode.net. Okay, and it takes a port which is port 6667, which is a non-SSL port. You have to Google for Freenode ports to figure out what is a SSL port. I think 6668 might be a SSL port. I'm not sure. Okay, but there we go. And now we actually made the connection to that address, to that port, and we don't have anything. But if we then in turn say cat out what's on file descriptor 4, or what's using file descriptor 4, you can then see we have stuff from Freenode laying there. Okay, Control C doesn't necessarily close the connection, but it does get us out of the point where we're not reading from file descriptor 4 anymore. And now if we cat out file descriptor 4, we should get an error saying that the connection was closed due to no parameters, right? Right. Okay. So, we don't need netcat. Okay, even though I have netcat here, we don't really need to use netcat because we can just use what we have on our operating system, bare minimal, and talk directly through our TCP device that we have compiled into the kernel. And if you don't have a TCP device compiled in your kernel, you can expect not to be able to get any internet connection. You can't ping Google. You can't do anything involving TCP, anything. Okay? So most likely you have a dev TCP device. Alright. So we can connect to the server. Great. We're just using our imaginary file descriptor, and if I actually cat that out again, you'll see here after some time Freenode just closed the connection because the parameters were not fulfilled as far as a real connection to the server. We did initiate connection, but Freenode wanted some stuff from us that we didn't give. So let me see, make directory chat stuff. Okay, I'm going to go into that. Let's put this in a script. Let's see, vim chat chatcat.sh. Okay, I say bin bash. You don't have to put start in, but I do. Okay, and we're just going to open it up, and let's say something like, what do we do up here? We said exec, or set up file descriptor 4, okay, to handle dev TCP irc.freenode.net and the port 6667. Okay, now we initiated connection with that, and then we in turn just catted out what we have coming through on file descriptor 4. Okay, now blindly I'm going to say that when you say cat out file descriptor 4, it's taking that output of file descriptor 4 and redirecting it to your screen. Okay, so let's write that. Actually, I'm going to say write quit change mod plus executable this script chatcat. Okay, now I'm going to cd in the chat stuff, and I'm going to .run chatcat. Okay, and this looks a little bit more like a connection than what we had previously before. Okay, basically taking the imaginary file descriptor 4 that we just set up and sending it to dev.tcp irc.freenode.net. It's initiating a connection, and then it's just reading from what's coming back down through file descriptor 4. Okay, and file descriptor 4 is not only input, output, or error, it's everything. Okay, so that's all cool and dandy. But over some time, we're going to there you go. We're going to get closed out by Freenode because we didn't give it enough parameters, enough stuff. Like, for one would be a username, okay, and we did not give it a nick. So even though we have a connection, it still doesn't know who we are. These are actually backwards. Okay, so I'm going to say nick, and I have to enter my nickname here, so I'm going to say some user, and user is also going to be some user. Okay, now if I write that and I run my script again, you can see here that line 8, nick command not found, user command not found. My interpreter's taking what's in here, okay, and it's bugging out, it's an error because my interpreter's reading it. So what I want to do is I want to take what I type here and I actually want to send that to the server. Just as I'm initiating connection here, I want to send this information to the server. Hit Control C. How do we do that? We're going to say echo through file descriptor 4, and we're going to also say echo some user and the username through file descriptor 4. Okay, and it's taking the standard output of that and shooting it through standard input and output. Let me see. Taking the standard output of that, instead of sending it to the screen, it's going to take it and send it through 4 to where our Freenode server is. And this down here is just going to cat out what's on file descriptor 4. Now, I'm not the best at Freenode server commands, okay, and syntax and whatever like that. And I remember this from a previous script that I had, that we have to set up parameters of 8, okay, and I say all. Actually, I think this is the amount of characters your host name can be, I think. I'm not sure. You guys are going to have to Google that, or take my word for it. And this here would be a quit message, and I don't think we need to put that up there right now. So now, let me go ahead and run my script again. Looking at the host name, checking an indent, found your host name. Come on, man, connect. No indent response. Okay. Error code 461. Some user not enough parameters. Okay. So let's see. I think we had to put this on here. Something else. Okay. Now if I hit Control C, I really didn't kill connection to the server because it's still going to be talking to me on file descriptor 4. But I did stop the script. Okay. Now you can see here that we actually initiated connection with the server. We're in the server now. We're actually logged onto the server. Okay. This here is our message of the day, and it tells us who we are and all this other stuff like that, who they are, blah blah blah, and this is the end of the message of the day. Okay, great. Now we still can't do anything. Okay, because we haven't set it up to actually do anything. We've set it up to make a connection to the Freenode server, but that's about it. Okay, so in the next one we'll talk about how we can put this to some use. So I'll see you in the next one.